It was a rainy evening in downtown Seattle. Dr. Henry White was heading out on a long journey to Los Angeles, where he was called to be present for an emergency medical procedure. On such short notice, he was unable to book a flight, and the only way he could make it on time was by car. Fortunately, the roads were clear of traffic, and Dr. White hit the highway sooner than later. He passed by what seemed to be the last gas station before a long distance down the highway. Dr. White looked at his fuel indicator. His tank was full, more than enough to make it to LA. He sped up the car along the empty highway road. An hour's drive in, Dr. White's car took a sudden jolt and halted on the road. It was empty ahead. Dr. White couldn't understand what just happened. Did I drive over something? Just as Dr. White was to get out and check, his eyes fell on the fuel indicator. Empty? How? How can it be empty? It was full a while ago. Dr. White distinctly remembered passing by the last gas station because his tank was full. How can a full tank run out of gas in just an hour's driving? Something's not right. After sitting in his car for a while, Dr. White decided to start walking ahead. Perhaps he could find some help, at least a towing service. After walking about a mile in the pouring rain, Dr. White noticed a light in the distance behind him. It was the headlights of a car. He raised both his hands and signaled for the car to stop. Just a distance away, the car halted, and the driver rolled down the window. Dr. White hurried to the car and was surprised to see a young woman sitting in the driver's seat. He stared at her for a while. "How may I help you, Grandpa?" Dr. White was a little taken aback at her remark. Did he look that old? "My car ran out of gas. I would really appreciate if you could please drop me off at the nearest gas station. I've been walking for a mile already." "Sure. I thought I saw your car down the road. Come on in, Grandpa. I'll give you a lift." Dr. White walked around the car and took the front seat next to the woman. After a few minutes of driving along the road, he spoke up and asked her, "So where are you headed to?" "Me? I was just going to spend the weekend with my boyfriend. You know, when I saw you, I got really surprised." "Why?" "You actually look just like my wife." The young woman let out a laugh. "Really? But Grandpa, where did you find a young girl like me to marry you?" "We got married when we were young, but she's no more. She died young due to sepsis." She must have been your first wife, and you must have married 3 times by now. 3 more times? What does she think of me? Dr. White looked out the window and sighed. No, I didn't get married again. The young woman frowned. You know what? I heard old people say they don't really get my generation, but honestly, I'm the one who doesn't get your generation. What's wrong with you people? Really? What makes you say that? How do you live without getting married? So you've been single for the last 100 years? Or have you been dating women a tenth of your age? That's not normal. I'm actually having second thoughts on picking you up now. Maybe you're a psycho. Dr. White chuckled. First of all, I wasn't born old, and it hasn't been 100 years. And I've truly been single in every sense. I haven't dated since. That's crazy. So, how did you meet Grandma? Her name was Olivia. We were high school sweethearts. Isn't that so predictable? Your generation. Yes, and you youngsters all meet each other on the net, don't you? Do you know how difficult it is to impress someone on the net? You must have had no obstacles in your relationship. Obstacles? Yeah. 2 big obstacles. You know what they're called? Olivia's father and her elder brother. 2 men I couldn't get off my back. They were like hawks keeping their keen eye on me. And I felt like a little dove trying to fly off with Olivia. It was a week before the senior prom at our high school. Of course, Olivia was eager to go with me, and she had been bugging me to ask permission from her father. I was nervous. I didn't want to risk the chance of disapproval. But then, one day, I was dropping Olivia home when her elder brother spotted us. Olivia? Who's he? A friend. What kind of friend? Sneaking around with my sister. No, it's not like that. You're coming with me. He dragged me back home and started banging on his door. He was nearly 2 feet taller than me, looked like a goon. But I could still put up a good fight. But I went along with it since he was Olivia's brother. But the next thing you know, Olivia's father storms out the door with his rifle and points it at my face. You think you can fool around with my daughter and get away with it? No, sir, it's not like that. Olivia and I are in love. Dad, put that away, you're overreacting. I'm warning you, young man. If I see you anywhere near my precious daughter again, I won't wait a second to pull this trigger on you. Sir, that won't be necessary. It won't happen again. May I take your daughter to prom? That must have been embarrassing. Were you scared when he took out his rifle? No, I think they got impressed by me that day. The next day, Olivia surprised me at my place. She had a reward, Every time, actually. Whenever I felt low in my life. Whenever I felt low in my life. Oh, so Grandma was a foxy lady. No, she wasn't foxy. She used to reward me with her baking skills. She used to bake her special cookies and cakes. We got married while we were in college, and trust me, college was another bumpy ride. I had to fend off all these other guys. There was this one creep who wouldn't stop following her around. I ended up getting into a fight with him, and both of us got suspended for a week. I broke my arm in the process, but that guy didn't dare to put his eye on my girl. So you got into a fight for your girl and broke your own arm? What a way to impress Grandma. The way I see it, that guy could have roamed around her for the rest of his life and Grandma wouldn't have cared. Olivia took a lot of care of me for a whole month after that. She stayed with me, made my food, looked after the apartment, and that sort of continued until we finally got married. Olivia took care of everything. We bought our own house in Texas and moved in. Olivia had been saving money over the years and she surprised me with our first car. Life was beautiful. Until she fell sick. The disease was actually spreading in Texas. A lot of people suffer from sepsis in Texas every year. Olivia was one of those unfortunate people. So Grandma was the perfect girl. Well, not really. Now that I think about it, she wasn't that perfect. Her cousin Jessica was much prettier than her. Olivia actually had something going on with her right ear. It was a little crooked. She was going bald since high school. And Jessica had the most beautiful eyes. And Olivia's eyes were just ordinary. But everyone has one flaw or another, right? Is it really that big of a deal? I always tried to overlook Olivia's flaws. I tried to keep things right between us. But her family was just over the top annoying, and those cookies I had to finish? Boy, those were a misery. Olivia cooks, but her cooking is awful. Just then, the young woman let go of the steering. Her cheeks turned hot red as she looked like she was about to fume steam out of her ears. She stretched out her hands and grabbed Henry by the collar. "What did you say? I am going to kill you." Henry couldn't help laughing. "Your cookies and cakes were fine, they were delicious." That's what I thought. You came back to take me? You had to prank me even now? What else did you expect me to do? You died and didn't even realize it. You started roaming on this highway like a wandering ghost. If I didn't pick you up, you would have been walking down this road for ages, scaring people on this highway. I hope all this is followed by a reward.
If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family.